Welcome back, my friends, and thank you for tuning in to Fair Fight with our Poll on a Poll series. You can follow us on Twitter at Fair Fight Inc., and that's INK, where every week during Raw, Smackdown, sometimes NXT, we will put up polls that you can vote on, and then check out the results right here on YouTube. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to always get updated on the newest polls. This week, we had kind of a mega poll, as you can see, where I had votes going out on Raw, Smackdown, NXT, and 205 Live, asking the question, who do you most want to see sign with AEW? Now, there's so many options, and actually it took me a while to figure out who I really wanted to focus in on for those final four, essentially, since Twitter only allows you 4 votes per poll. So let's start right on Raw. You know, I tried to stay away from some of the more obvious ones on here, as you can see. I mean, Seth Rollins is going to be a clear-cut guy who a lot of people are going to want to gravitate towards, but interestingly enough, it didn't matter. The Revival got 69% of the vote. Not surprising, I guess I should say, because with their rivalry with the Young Bucks, everybody wants to see that FTR feud, and obviously that proved positive right here in these votes as well. Finn Balor came in second at 31% of the votes, and then I'm not going to think too much about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn getting 0. They haven't been on TV for a while. Finn Balor is the kind of guy who I quite frankly think maybe part of this big push is to keep him happy and keep him on WWE's brand. Here's what I thought was the most interesting one on SmackDown. Ty Dillinger got 50% of your votes. Rounding out with Shinsuke Nakamura at 33, Andrade Cien Almas, yes, I'm going to keep calling him that no matter what Vince tells me to, at 17%, and then Samoa Joe unfortunately didn't get any of your votes this time. But Ty Dillinger's who I want to focus on, and the reason I picked him for the thumbnail is he is the epitome of who AEW should be attracting. Obviously, people like Andrade and Shinsuke and even Samoa Joe, they would do very well on the AEW brand. But a guy like Ty Dillinger, somebody who could have been NXT champion, somebody who should have been Intercontinental champion, somebody who had the crowd behind him in a Zack Ryder type of fashion, but just wasn't what Vince was looking for, could thrive in an environment like All Elite, and I hope that he is one of the guys that they grab. Moving on to NXT, no surprise here, the Undisputed Era grabbed all of at least the majority of the votes. However, I gotta say, the NXT vote was the most back and forth of getting the votes. It wasn't a landslide here. I think that's a natural story to get Adam Cole back in front of the Young Bucks and back in front of eventually Marty Scurll and hopefully eventually Kenny Omega, to kind of continue on that story of him getting kicked out of the Bullet Club. And I think the guys from Undisputed Era would fit into that mix very well. Moving right along to Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, I think that those kind of guys could really do well on WWE, but I think that having gone through the stories that we have for the past 2 years with these guys on NXT and takeovers, I think we'll be very disappointed to see how Vince treats them. So I think that AEW will be a great move for them, and no one fits what I just said better than both Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream in terms of what could happen to them once they get onto the main roster. The two most intriguing characters and people that we love on a routine basis could really drown in a WWE main roster environment, and so maybe AEW will be that creative license that these guys need. And then rounding out all the votes, over on 205 Live, Hideo Itami with a landslide of votes. Nothing against Kalisto or Buddy Murphy or Cedric Alexander, but I think that Hideo fits that same category as Ty Dillinger, somebody who really could be a main eventer, but doesn't fit that normal big guy persona that Vince loves. And so another guy who I think would do very well over with Cody and the Bucks. But hey, I'm just so excited that we can have these types of conversations again, right? I think I've been doing a lot of polls about AEW because it is the most exciting thing I have seen in the wrestling industry in 2 decades, and I think everybody can agree with me. These are very exciting conversations to have. So give us a like here, hit that subscribe button, head on over to @FairFightInc, INK on Twitter, and you can vote in all of our polls moving forward. Thanks so much for tuning in to this, you guys, and I will talk to you soon.